What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back, Speaking Mind Sports Talk. All right, check it out, man. Got a double screen going here. Hold on for a second, guys. Took out the wrong one. All right, there it is. All right, so what's up, everybody? What's good this morning? What's good? Where did I put my old trusty black and mild? What up? What up? PED, first up in the building. What's good, PED? What's good with you, brother? PED, I don't know if I ever... You first up, bro. You first up. And before I waste any time with this, I'm not sure if you have the time, but PED, this invite this morning is for you, sir. I didn't get anybody to accept the invite, but it's the morning time. People on their way to work, so I understand if you can't jump on. But you are invited as the special guest this morning, PD, if you want to come up here and chop it up with your boy D Jeff about some boxing. We got some pretty hot topics this morning. Pretty good stuff to talk about. Something is going on with my camera system here, so I don't know. It's always something with these computers, man. I tell you what. Yeah. Strange. Don't know. Anyhow. James in the building. What's good with you, brother? Good to see you, James. So we're going to be talking about Tank Davis. Tank Davis versus Keith Thurman at 147. Yeah, we're going to talk about that one. Then we're going to talk about Bob Arum. Naturally, you know, Bob Arum is involved with a lot here coming up. Monster Inoue, Nonito Donaire. We know that Bob Arum, that's Arum's. What the heck is going on with my guys? Am I breaking up out there? My screen kind of skipping over here. I'm not sure. Let me know if I'm coming off clear. If y'all don't mind. My screen keeps skipping. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. But Eric in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good with you? Good to see you, Eric. Thanks for the invite. I'd rather pass someone else, bro, listening. I appreciate that. All right, PED. No doubt, bro. Eric, I just seen you step in the building, Eric. PED he passes on the invite. So, Eric, this goes out to you, sir. And I've talked to you plenty of times, but I always like talking to my guy, Eric, out there in the UK. My brother, my UK brother. All right, Eric, it's out to you. Special guest, Eric, from the UK. Merrill Dixon, good morning to you, sir. Good morning to you. He said someone else will talk better boxing than me. Oh, no doubt, PD. I just want to always, extend the offer, bro. That's it. I want everybody to get up because it used to be a big open platform. And when I start doing it in the afternoon more often again, probably after I get out of school, and we'll open up that platform again so that people can jump in and out when they want. But in the morning, I want to keep this to an hour. I want to talk about the topic. So I'm inviting one guest. And this morning, it's my man, Eric. What's good with you, Eric?
What's good, D? You can hear me?
Same old, man. We got some stuff to talk about right now. Bob Arum all mixed up in a whole lot. I'm trying to get my screen to work, but, it is what it is. How you been, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, brother. Just been chilling, work. That's it, really. Ain't nothing. Watching the Olympics. Been watching Olympic boxing.
How's that going?
GB are doing well. GB ain't doing too bad. I think we've just come out with a bronze and a silver so far in the boxing. I think we've got another couple more in the finals to go in. So yeah,
there it is. You got it to work. Yeah, I'm trying this.
You got Ducking Ryan on there.
Huh?
You got Ducking Ryan on there, I see.
Yeah. I'm actually trying this new platform, trying to do some things, talk about more topics in the morning, and then I put presets in. So I'm trying to utilize StreamYard to tell you the truth, Eric. Sort of like a little studio, so to speak. You know what I mean? Without all of the extra nonsense. So let's switch it up like that. Yes, I do have some things, but I also have some presets for the topics that we're going to be talking about this morning. Just for the ambiance. So with that being said, first topic, let's jump on it. Michael Hunter stops Mike Wilson in the 4th round on this Triller card. What was you getting ready to say, Eric?
Nah, you carry on. No. Go.
Okay, so that's what we're going to jump into, Michael Hunter. Let me give some shout-outs. Merrill Dixon says, clear, appreciate you, brother. Let Tank handle 140 there. Yeah, we're going to get on that for sure. PD says, thank you. Though that's appreciated. Much, no doubt. Much respect to you, PD. I appreciate you, brother. Merrill Dixon says, smoking my Wheaties also. Hey, that's next, Merrill. That's next. This is just the black and mild. All right, man. Let's get in it. Let's get in there, Eric. Michael Hunter, did you get a chance to see that fight, Eric?
I've not seen it, but
I'm not even
seen it. But
I didn't watch.
This is the thing, B.
I watch highlights.
Yeah, this is the thing. I was never watching this fight. As soon as this fight was announced, I was like, I'm not even interested in it because we all knew. You told me anyone that thought this fight was going to go the distance or Michael Hunter was going to show you anything in this fight, what he could use, what would appease the fans and be like, oh, Michael Hunter's back, and it's Mike Wilson. You know what I mean?
Right. It was nothing to prove there. Absolutely nothing to prove. And but even, to be fair to Michael Hunter, okay, to be fair to Michael Hunter in this situation where he's at, Michael Hunter's on the uphill, right? As far as like getting a title shot and this, that, and the third. But he understands that he's not in line for a title shot no time soon, right? So as a fighter, if you understand, especially the politics of this sport, we know how it goes, bro. It's Fury and Joshua holding the titles. You're going to have to go through a hell of a lot to get to either one of those two guys anyhow. And Michael Hunter just ain't in the mix, and he understands that. So with this knowledge, what Michael Hunter was saying is, well, I'll fight Hrgović. It's a huge risk. It's not going to get me the championship match next. And Triller trying to pay me all of this money to fight Mike Wilson? As a fighter, bro, I can't really blame him for that. You know what I mean? Because he's already one of these fighters that's a name that's in position. He could do some things. If one of the champions decided to defend their title against him, no gripes from no one. You know what I mean? Michael Hunter's in that position already, but he knows that he's not going to get a title fight next. So why not go for the money? You understand? The thing that bothers me with these guys going for the money are the guys that are champions. Forget about being in position. They're champions. And then they go running after the money instead. That kind of perturbs me as a boxing fan. But what Michael Hunter did to fight Wallace for much more money on Triller, I really don't mind. And I agree with you 100%, Eric. Anybody that thought Michael Hunter was going to go the distance or lose or not be impressive against Mike Wilson, they was like me and Merrill Dixon smoking some Wheaties, except they had some angel dust mixed inside of it. Because there's no way Mike Wilson was going to beat Michael Hunter, bro. No way. This is he's a top 10 heavyweight by my assessment.
Michael Hunter for me, he already beat Povetkin. I know they gave it a draw, but I thought Michael Hunter probably won that fight. He's been in there. My thing with this is I don't really blame him for taking the bag, but I, as a boxing fan, I wanted to see that Hrgović versus Hunter fight.
I
wanted to see that fight as a boxing fan because I think both of them are good. Hrgović has not been tested yet. Michael Hunter has been tested. Michael Hunter
That
has
was a
been
beautiful
in.
fight for Hergovich. Great step up fight for her.
Exactly. So when I see when I see him go over to Triller and fight Mike Wilson, yeah, he's gone after the bag because the Hergovich. You can't blame a fighter, especially like you said, he's not going to get a title shot next. But it also was to put him in position to get a title shot. But still,
I don't think he
even
drops it, Eric. I didn't mean to cut you off, right? But I don't think he loses too much ground pulling from Hergovich and going to Wallace.
No.
Who's Hergovich? Hergovich had no ground. You know what I mean? So I don't think he lost any ground from his positioning. You feel me?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. I do agree with you. Like I said, it's just as a boxing fan, that fight was mouth-watering. Hergovich versus a Hunter.
It was.
You know, it was mouth-watering, and that's what disappointed me a bit about the fight. But like you said, him going over and fighting a Mike Wilson, Hergovich hasn't fought yet. So he can now, he's just fought Mike Wilson in 2-3 months' time. He could go fight a Hergovich still, because nothing has changed apart from another name on the record. So yeah, he hasn't dropped off not taking that fight because Hergovich isn't a name yet that you can say, because the Hergovich fight isn't going to come around again. That fight will always be there because Hergovich hasn't done anything yet. Exactly.
Hergovich will be there, and like I said, if he needed to step up and place, he's right there. Like, you know, we kind of look at fighters as level of danger. So you get a situation where one of these champions, could be 2 years from now, they need to take a fight, but they need to take a valid fight as a heavyweight, right? You know, say Usyk is champion, he upset Joshua or this, that, and the third, and he needs a valid title defense. With what we've seen from Usyk, we know that he'll try to take one of the top 10 guys. Hunter could fall in place right there in a fight like that. You know what I mean? Because he is a top 10 heavyweight. He would be a valid name. He would be a valid title defense. So he doesn't lose any position is my point. I think that he went after the money. I don't mind it. And it is what it is. You know, anybody that expected anything different from what we, know that happened, knockout in the 4th round, and I don't think you know too much about boxing because there's no way Mike Wilson was going to beat Michael Hunter. No way.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, you're not wrong about the Hunter thing because if say Joshua beats Usyk and Fury, Wilder, whatever goes on with that, and Joshua needs to make a defense, there's more chance of him picking a Michael Hunter than there is a Filip Hergovich anyway at this point. Even if Filip Hergovich is fighting for the eliminators to fight for the IBF, Michael Hunter is still a better name at this point. If you put those two names in front of Joshua, I believe he picks Michael Hunter anyway. And
Hergovich wants to fight him anyway. So if that was the fight that popped up again later, like you mentioned, that fight will come anyway. That fight will come back to fruition. It'll come right back around for Hunter. So, I don't think Hunter. South Croy was good. He said, I'm rooting for Tank Davis. There you go, South. You know what, guys, as much heat as I've given Tank Davis. Well, I'll get on that later. You almost got me to jump to topic, South Croy. No doubt. Jay says Jared Anderson will beat the brakes. So I'm not sure about that. Now, I am huge on Jared Anderson, James. I am huge on Jared. I think he is the standout heavyweight prospect for America. I don't think there's a better prospect, a better heavyweight coming up than Jared Anderson. He's showing a lot of tools. However, I just said Michael Hunter is, and by my assessment, a top 10 heavyweight. It's too quick for the kid, man. Let him continue to move up the way he's been moving up. To thrust him up there right now and to a top 10 fight is sort of remnants of the mistakes Frank Warren was making with Daniel Dubois. You don't want to move him slowly, but you don't want to move him too fast. One thing about Bob Arum, say what you want to say about him, he brings fighters up the right way. Once they get there, it's a different story, but he brings them up the right way. So let's let Michael Hunter continue. I'm sorry, Jared Anderson continue on the path that he's on. We didn't want to move him too quick. I'm very, very pleased with him, and I don't want any hiccups. Fighting Michael Hunter right now, I think, is too soon for the real big baby. Boxing in the building. Well, go ahead, Eric. You want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, I think people underestimate how good Michael Hunter actually is. The people he's fought. If you look at Michael Hunter's record, he's got some very good names on his record, and people seem. But he fought Povetkin before Dillian White fought Povetkin, and his performance against Povetkin. It was in Saudi Arabia. It was on the Ruiz Joshua 2 card.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good fight. It was a very good fight, and that was, at that point, Povetkin had lost to Joshua. He'd only been dropped by Joshua, and for Michael Hunter to go in there and put on a performance like he did, I think he was unlucky not to get the nod. It was a very good performance. It was impressive, and I think people underestimate because I think it's because of the case of Hunter had that fight. And then there was no building blocks after that. He sort of just went quiet, and that's the issue with he became quiet, and people start forgetting who he's fought and how good of a fighter he actually is, and that could be a detriment to a lot of prospects like Jared Anderson getting in there. If he gets in there with him, underestimates Hunter, that could be a bad night's work for him.
Indeed. For sure. All right. Moving on. Ryan Garcia's back. He's announcing his comeback this summer. In December. Now, here's the thing. And as you guys can see, Justin Trouble, my brother. What's good with your fam? Good to see you, Justin, always. So as you can see, Ryan is back to cap. Let me tell y'all something about Ryan Garcia, and I'm going to let Eric take off on this. Ryan Garcia, let me tell you where Ryan Garcia is with me right now. I used to be a huge fan of Tank Davis. I'm from Virginia, the DMV. That's our area. Everybody knew Tank Davis. They watch his boxing. I was a big fan of Tank Davis. But I acknowledged and I noticed and accepted that he was being led down the path of foolery by Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe. Therefore, I was no longer a fan of Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia is in the graces of where Tank Davis had gotten with me. This dude's full of cap, fam. He's full of cap. He left boxing. He took his 4-month hiatus, right? For the simple fact that he had mental and his mental health, his well-being. And listen, man, when people have mental issues, I'm sorry, but 4 months, and we seen video of him. He was doing videos on YouTube, social media. He was out on the beach, and he didn't look too mentally distressed to me. I don't know what was going on with Ryan Garcia, but he didn't look too mentally distressed to me. I'm no Dr. Phil. I don't know, but I don't buy it, bro. I don't buy it. You duck Devin Haney, you duck Javier Fortuna, you leave on a hiatus. Now you come back, talking about you back, and it's going to be a big opponent. Let's rewind this, guys. When the fool left, he was talking about how, my next fight is going to excite you. My next fight is going to be a big opponent. First it was Tank, cap. Then it was Manny Pacquiao, cap. Now he's back talking about I'm back in December and it's going to be a big opponent. Cap. That's what I feel like it. Ryan Garcia is back to cap. What do you think, Eric? What do you think, brother?
Ryan Garcia is back because he's realized that there's a fight where he doesn't have to fight Devin Haney anymore. The Jojo Diaz fight he feels is an easier fight for him than a Devin Haney fight. I even think he thinks the Joseph Diaz fight is an easier fight than Fortuna. Because Fortuna is actually a decent puncher, and I'm telling you, Luke Campbell scared the brakes off of that kid when he got knocked down. He was coming out, I've got a scat.
I think he's scared of his handlers.
Yeah, he is. It's crazy how you've come away. You retired from the sport. You effectively retired from the sport because you've got mental illness. Fair, if you've got a mental, but 4 months, Ryan, 4 months.
No hospitals, no clinics.
For me, the Tyson Fury, when you can see when someone who went through mental illness and the stages. Obviously, you don't have to go through that much, but it took Tyson Fury 3 years to get himself back to being able to even box again. Ryan, 4 months, and you're telling me all you did in those 4 months, you was never off social media. You was on social media all the time. In those 4 months, you was on social media. You
seen him having a good time.
Yeah, one of the first people to comment on Devin Haney's performance when he fought Linares. You there when Tank fought. You always in the media, but you've got mental illness from being in the media too much, because that was your reason. The pressures of being a young star, you couldn't handle it. So right now, you want to take 4 months off. Ironically, it was in that time where you were supposed to fight Fortuna, because you said you wasn't ready to fight Fortuna 3 months before the fight was even scheduled to happen. It's not as if it got to a couple of weeks before you're not mentally right. You decided 3 months before the fight was meant to happen that you wouldn't be ready. You wouldn't mentally be ready. So when did Jojo and Fortuna fight? 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago?
About 3 weeks ago.
So 2 weeks after they fight, you see the winner, and all of a sudden, I'm back in December now. Like Ryan is full of cap. He's full of cap. That kid he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight Devin Haney. He realized it. This whole thing of Devin Haney hasn't got a title, his title's fake, and Devin Haney doesn't bring numbers. Devin Haney is earning more money than you, Ryan. If you fight Devin Haney, you will get your biggest payday. So saying that,
I can't. Well, this is what I will say about that, Eric. I think that I honestly not sure that Devin Haney would provide him with his biggest payday. I believe that would be Tank Davis.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is this is without the Tank, because he ain't gonna fight Tank Davis. That's my point. You're mandatory for. Well, you was the mandatory for Devin Haney. So now you're gonna fight for another mandatory position by fighting Jojo. So this is
Jojo has his appointment now. Jojo has his appointment now. Since he left, that fight that Jojo just had, that took Ryan's appointment. So Ryan doesn't have that appointment, and he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any belt. So,
not anymore, no. Yeah. But Ryan did have that appointment. It was his choice, and he went around the world not to take that appointment. It was Pacquiao, it was Tank, and it was retirement.
It was Pacquiao, Fortuna, then retirement. Now he's coming
then
back.
Retirement. Yeah.
Right, and then come back to Devin Haney's other mandatory. So you sign up for his mandatory, you get the fight, it's signed, it's sealed, but it's not delivered because you back out of it. Devin Haney's mandatory. Then you go on a hiatus and you come back to fight Devin Haney's mandatory. Come on, bro. He's back to cap, fam.
Ryan made his feelings about not fighting Devin Haney clear a long time ago, because when they was asking about him, Teofimo, Tank, and Devin, and he's like, I want to fight Tank, and then I want to fight Teofimo, and then I'll fight Devin Haney. So he's like, Devin Haney's like, Devin last. Yeah.
On that.
So So he already made his feelings clear on what was going to happen. He doesn't want that Devin Haney fight. I think he feels, but for me, I don't know why he feels like he can beat Tank or Teofimo. What he sees in them, and he feels he can beat them more so than he can beat Devin Haney, is crazy.
Cap, Eric. He is back to cap. South Korea said Michael Hunter might be a bit overconfident to me. I don't know. I like Michael Hunter. I'm big on him. I don't know. D Jeff on the road listening in. Richard Torres. What's up? What's up? What's up, Matt Chad? My New England Connect. LT, mi hermano. What's good with you? Good to see you, LT. Shadow boxing in the building. What's good? Shadow boxing. Let me see. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Sergio, what's up, my brother? Mi hermano Sergio in the building. He said, okay, obvious. Falta. All right, Sergio. He said, Sergio, how much you want to bet Ryan probably already wearing fishnets? LT. Oh boy, okay. Prices. We gotta move, guys. We gotta move.
One second. Let me just finish that one. The reason why I say also that it will be one of his biggest paydays fighting Devin Haney is because the zone is high on Ryan. The zone is very high on Ryan. And to make that fight, the zone will pay him. The zone will pay Ryan a handsome fee to fight Devin Haney.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Handsome. That's true. I won't deny that. That you make a very good point there. Stockwell, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very, very, very good point, Eric. And this is why I want you guys, one of you guys anyway, we all sharp minds in the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family, but this is why I want at least one of you guys to come up here because two minds are better than one. And I hadn't even contemplated that, Eric, and you make a really good point there. Although Tank has more stock, right? And he requires that the zone will pay that money. So Eric makes a good point, right? Because who the hell expects Mikey Garcia to make $7 million versus Vargas? So the zone will pay that money. Very good point, Eric. Very good point. It could be his biggest payday. I stand corrected. That could be his biggest payday because the zone could end up coming off of more money than Floyd or Ellaby and the PVC and those guys would be willing to, right? Touche.
Yeah, and it's also well, obviously the pay-per-views will sell for Tank and Ryan. It would do. I'm not going to deny that.
Oh, for sure. It sell like freaking sell out the
yin. But with how much when I watched Ryan versus Campbell on the zone and how much the zone was even through Devin's fight, the zone was talking about Ryan. Like the zone is so invested in Ryan's career, it's crazy. Right. So when I see that, when I see the publicity the zone gives Ryan, I just believe they really think he can be a star, and in order for him to stay on the zone will pay him. It will.
He can be a star. He can be a star, and I'm going to tell you why. And I said this, right? I lost the debate. Imagine this, right? You guys imagine this. I lost the debate against T-Tone Toledo on BDA. Of course, debates are based on the judging. But we had a debate. It's on BDA now. And this was months ago, guys. And I said Ryan Garcia's Tank 2.0. No, what does it seem like now? He's Tank 2.0. I actually lost that debate and everything you said, Eric. I said back then. I said this stuff back then during this dude is Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia are emulating what Ellaby and Floyd are doing with Tank. And he can be a star because Tank is a star. He can fight these fights with names and, not take the fight that we want to watch. Keep fighting these fights with names, keep going up into stardom. Mm-hmm. They can create a star in this sport without him having to fight the great fights. Sad, but it's so. We got to move on, guys. We got to move on to Nonito Donaire and Inoue and Nonito. So this fight is back on again. August 14th, Nonito Donaire was supposed to be fighting John Noel Casimero, but because of the doping situation, and then the comments made to Nonito Donaire's manager / wife, that fight was called off. Nonito Donaire pulled out of that fight. He said, F John Noel Casimero, disrespectful ass, and he don't want to sign up for this doping situation or whatever his complaints was. The fight didn't materialize. So now John Real Casimero will be fighting Guillermo Rigondeaux on the 14th. And this fight is in negotiations. Now, here's one good thing about this fight being in negotiations. High possibility. You know why? Because Bob Arum has total autonomy over this fight. So when Bob Arum has total autonomy over the fight and he starts talking like we're looking at making this fight, the fight actually goes into negotiations, we might get Nonito Donaire and Inoue and Nonito Part 2, which is a great fight. Before you get on that, Eric, let me slide down the chat right quick. Shadow Boxing says, got on my Oreo cat. Hey, DMV, baby. DMV, you know how it is, Shadow Boxing. Got to support the Baltimore Orioles, fam. JD in the building. Was good. Make sure I miss Chin Smoke. What's up, Chin Smoke? Been a while. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Ronald Finkley in the building. What's good with you, Fink? What's good? Appreciate you, D, a.k.a. Cappuccino Kid. Yeah, I didn't have any coffee this morning. I was already late as usual, so I didn't want to be later trying to make some coffee, Ronald. So what do you think? What do you think, Eric? Nonito Donaire, Monster Inoue. I'm excited. I definitely want to see that rematch. What you got?
I'm very excited. This is an outcome that I was not expecting after the John Casimero debacle. It was not an outcome, but this is a great outcome for Nonito. This is a fantastic outcome for him to get a rematch, especially in that first fight. How great that first fight was! How back and forth it was a very, very well fought contest from both fighters. So for them to run it back, yeah, I'm excited for this. And like you said, there's a 99% chance it's happening because Bob is in full control of it. So when Bob is in full control, these fights happen. His problem becomes when he has to deal with everybody else. Right. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight.
Inside fight, the top rank. You feel real good about inside fight. Hell, look how hard it is for us to get 4 belt undisputed matches. He made that go off, no sweat.
Yep.
He made that go off, no sweat, because it was all in-house. You know what I mean? When it's all in-house for Bob Arum, and the same thing with the PBC. You know, people just hound the PBC so much because a lot of their fighters, they want to see them beaten. They want to see Wilder get beat. They want it that bad. They want to see Jamal go down. They want to see Tank get his ass splattered all over the ring. They want to see Spence get beaten up. So the eyes are focused on the PBC. They got these champions running around like they all that, but they won't work with anybody. So much focus on the PBC. But Bob Arum does the exact same thing that Al Heyman does. He just has a knack because he's been in this game for 60 years. He's the biggest, best snake in this game. So Bob Arum has the knack of doing the same thing that Al Heyman does, but not as blatantly. See, Al Heyman does the things that he does blatantly. He doesn't give a damn. He does it blatantly, and you can see that the PBC is keeping things in-house, and you can see the foolery they're pulling, and Al doesn't care that you know. However, Bob Arum does. So he has the knack of doing these things, but pointing the finger and getting the fans to believe that it's the other side's fault. That's what Bob Arum does. However, it's Bob Arum and the foolery. And he's doing it, and he's fooling the fans, and he's just the same with that nonsense as the PBC. But because Bob Arum gives us better fights, he is more willing to work with other promoters. It's hidden. It's hidden the things he does, right? But he does the same. He does exactly the same. I'll never sway from that. Sergio says, I got Monster 7-round TK. I think he's going to knock him out this time too, Sergio. I think maybe later, but I think he stops him this time too. This is exactly what I expected. That's a big money fight in Japan. Yeah, and speaking on that, that's where they're trying to host this fight. As you guys know, that Bob Arum is not sole promoter for Inoue and Nonito. If you guys don't know that, then let's get some info here. Bob Arum is not sole promoter of Inoue and Nonito. Inoue and Nonito has a promoter and handlers backed by Honda. Much money. Honda, guys. That's right. Honda Accord, Civic, CRV. Honda. Okay, that's who's backing this guy. A fight in Japan is massive. He is only second to Murata as far as star power in Japan. Nobody's a bigger star than Inoue and Nonito in Japan than Ryoya Murata. Okay, so that fight will sell massively, and Bob Arum and Honda would prefer to get that fight over in Japan. It's going to be leaning on Nonito Donaire, whether he's going to want to take that. But I think because of losing to Inoue and Nonito, sometimes these guys, when they want to get that get back, when they want to avenge that loss, then a lot of these little particulars don't matter, because what's most important is they get back in that ring and prove, I can beat this guy. Even at this age, I can beat this guy. Do you know what it would do? I don't know if people realize this, but do you know what it would do for Nonito Donaire's legacy if he was to come back and beat Monster Inoue? Massive. This dude, to me, is at the cusp of being an all-time great, guys. I don't know if you guys understand what Nonito Donaire has done in boxing, but he is one of the best boxers on the planet right now. Right? As far as what he's done, what he's brought to us, he's one of the smaller guys, so he may not have been as celebrated as the guys with the cameras in their face. But this guy has done a lot for boxing. And to come back and win against Inoue and Nonito, who is on the pound-for-pound list, on most people's pound-for-pound list, that would be massive for Nonito Donaire. So this is a fight that he could say, you know what, it might not be here or there. Let me go over there to Japan, make all of this money, and possibly win. You know, Chin Smoke was good. I see Monty Brown TV was good, my brother. Good to see every time, Monty. Box fans in the building. Queen Lisa, the queen of the YTBC in the building. What's up, family? Appreciate you guys. So, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on Nonito Donaire and Inoue and Nonito. We got a couple of more topics to cover, but I did want to talk about that. They are in negotiations, and guys, we probably will get this fight. The only unfortunate part for me is that it's not for 4-belt undisputed. Had John Raul, Casimero, and Nonito Donaire gotten it in, and Nonito Donaire was victorious, this fight was happening regardless. Trust and believe Bob would have slammed another 4-belt undisputed match for us, because he would have made massive money on it. But that didn't work out, so we're not going to get a 4-belt undisputed match between these two guys. So to me, that would be the only disappointment. But the fight was so great initially, you know, such a back and forth fight, like Eric said. You know, this definitely deserves a rematch. It's one of these Chocolatito Juan Francisco Estrada style fights where you got to get that rematch, right? And it's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great. So JD says, D, did you see Loma on his Kill Bill thing? He tries to take on Commey. You know what? Funny that you mentioned that. Because that is the next topic, friend. That's what we're talking about. Bob Arum, and this time I actually believe the snake. I do believe the snake. So Bob Arum says that Vasyl Lomachenko's next match could be versus Richard Commey. Vasyl's not going to sit around and wait for Teofimo to decide if he's going to go to Australia or not. Probably will go ahead and fight George Kambosos Jr. Don't know how, but Loma and Bob's not going to sit around waiting for that. He's going to put Lomachenko into some action. And it's going to be one of these two guys. This is coming from Bob Arum, and I quite believe this time. he had mentioned Lomachenko going to fight Richard Commey. Bob Arum was like, both of these guys lost to Teofimo Lopez. Lomachenko is in lieu of getting that rematch. He wants that rematch. We just talked about a rematch. When a guy loses and he feels like he can beat that guy, he wants to avenge that loss. So he definitely wants that rematch with Teofimo Lopez. Plus, he holds all his straps. So this is an excellent path for Lomachenko to get back to Teofimo Lopez. He destroys Nakatani, former opponent of Teofimo Lopez. He goes in here, and I got Lomachenko beating Richard Commey as well. And then say, hey, Teofimo was good now. Perfect plan. And I do believe, Bob, this time we could see Richard Commey. But Bob Arum says if that shouldn't work out, or if Devin Haney and Bill Haney is talking correctly, we could see Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Now, me personally, guys, and Eric, I'm going to let you take off after this. Me personally, I would rather see the matchup with Lomachenko and Devin Haney. I'm very, very comfortable that both of these guys, well, at least Lomachenko, I'm very comfortable with that he'll beat Richard Commey. Devin Haney is a boxing match, man. It's a boxer against a boxer. Now, Lomachenko's the superior boxer, for sure, but this is a boxing match, and I do love a good boxing match. What you think, Eric?
Yeah, I see more likely it's going to be the Commey fight, simply because Bob. I think Bob. There's more chance of if it's the. I think Bob wants that rematch with he wants Loma and Teofimo with that rematch because. Loma is still Bob's golden goose in my eyes. He still sees him like that, especially with what Teo's just done by going over to Triller and doing all of that ish. I feel Bob just feels like he needs to get Loma back in there to get them belts back, so he can control things again. I think it's more likely for him to fight a Commey once he fights Commey, beats Commey. It allows the Teofimo versus Kambosos fight to happen. Whether it'll probably end up being in America anyway, that fight. It allows that to happen, and then the winners of that fight will fight each other. I don't think Bob is in any hurry to give any of his top guys to Devin Haney. He ain't in a hurry for it.
I don't think so either. He's not. Listen. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was to say I don't think he's in a hurry for that. He has some disdain towards Devin Haney. Not too sure where it comes from. If it's the case of Devin Haney didn't sign with him when he was younger, or what it is, he has some disdain.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, fam. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Bob Arum, the vindictive bastard. Let me tell you what it is right now. Bob Arum, first and foremost, the thing with Devin Haney, and what people couldn't understand, why won't Bob Arum, bless this fight with Teofimo and Devin Haney? The thing with the initial thing with Devin Haney, why it may make it seem like the whole grand scheme of things is that he has something against Devin Haney. It was actually different things, and I'll break this down. Initially, the thing with Devin Haney and the Teofimo, and Bob even came out and said it on multiple occasions in different interviews. The kid hadn't done anything. It's still an issue with his stock right now. He doesn't have stock. You made a good point that the zone is willing to put up money for him, but he doesn't have that stock in his name, right? And so Bob is all about making money, fam. He said, this kid has got to do something. Now tell him to go fight someone, because Bob wants fan interest. He wants to make that bread. So initially, that was the thing. He didn't fight anybody. This was prior to Linares, right? Post Linares, why I would still be like, Bob's got it in for Devin Haney. It was the Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua situation, right? It was also the Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos situation. This is more now about Eddie Hearn, right? Because Eddie Hearn came out, talked trash about Bob Arum Of course, they had to blame each side for the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury thing. But if you remember, if you revert back to the George Kambosos Teofimo Lopez purse bid in the interview that Bob came out and said, you know, it wasn't in Eddie's best interest to bid on that fight. And, you know, he'll find out, all of that type of stuff. See, he's got it in for Eddie Hearn now, right? He wants to even take a further point to this, guys. I was reading an article where Bob Arum actually said, and this is just going along with what I'm telling you now. Bob Arum actually said he doesn't believe that Usyk beats AJ, but he hopes he does. Well, why would you hope he does, Bob? He has it in for Eddie Hearn, fam. You understand? So this is where this whole Devin Haney, you know what I mean? He is. He's a vindictive old bastard, bro. And this is where it's coming from. Initially, it was more about no stock in him. He hadn't fought anybody yet. And we know Bob's about money. So he fought Linares, like Bob said. Now it's about Eddie, with all of that purse bid and the Joshua, and you know, because Bob, you're not gonna pull one over on Bob. He'll get you in the end. That's Bob Arum, vindictive to the end, fam. Right? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's not as much about Haney. It's Hearn now.
But that's one of the reasons why Hearn and Devin Haney have said, right, you can be a free agent. I will work with you if none of these guys will work with you. But if these guys come in and offer you a fight, go. You are now a free agent. I am not standing in the way. The zone's not standing in the way. You can go get that fight. Because if I'm the reason these people are saying, oh, we're not going to work, you're not getting these fights, now what is their excuse?
They have none. And Bob has none either, because Bill Haney has already established that. They're partners, bro. Matchroom and Devin Haney's partners. He's not signed to the zone. He fights on the zone. That is a perk of the partnership. People don't get this, bro. G-Man Boxing in the building. What's up? A lot of fans don't get this. The perks of signing that partnership with Matchroom was to have the zone platform available. If you don't sign or you don't partner up or you don't work with one of the majors, you'll be in a position like Gervonta and his boots, where you have that skill, you have that talent. People could see you even have a name without fighting anybody, because you can't get your hands on anybody, because you won't play ball with the majors. Well, Bill Haney was smart. Let me go ahead and partner up with Eddie Hearn. Now I have access to all of that. Matchroom, the zone, and the fights that he can get me involved in, because I can't just do it all alone. I'm a new promoter in this game with a new fighter in this game. They approached it the right way, but it is a partnership. It is not Eddie Hearn running DHP business. It's Devin Haney Promotions, not Matchroom. Eddie Hearn runs Matchroom. He doesn't run DHP. You know who runs DHP? Bill Haney. Okay? So it's a partnership, people. It is a partnership.
Yep.
Smoke said it's match in the ring, never disappointing. No, not at all, Chen. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, no. The problem I've always had with Bob saying he needs to go fight this person. Everybody who he goes to fight, they ain't interested. Then he's having to take, like, Linares is the first one to actually Devin Haney goes after and step up to fight. Jojo should be the next. It looks like Jojo's choosing Ryan.
Jojo will not duck that smoke.
It looks like Jojo's about to choose Ryan. If Jojo chooses Ryan.
Well, let's touch on that real quick, because it is, look at what Bob Arum is doing, right? If Bob Arum presents a Lomachenko fight to Devin Haney, Jojo knows damn well he's not going to take Jojo over Lomachenko, right? So Jojo already came out and said, Eric, he said, listen, I want to fight both of them. And it's a bonus for both of them. Devin has the belt, of course. Ryan's the money. He says, so whichever one of them don't want to play games, that's the one I'm fighting. This is what Jojo said. My point is Jojo ain't going to duck no smoke. He'll take either one of them. Now it's going to depend on what avenue that Bill and Bob would like to go through.
I agree with you on how Jojo moves, but It shouldn't be one or the other in this situation. You are now mandatory challenger. You for that belt. Ryan's name shouldn't even be mentioned in that conversation. It should be my next fight is Devin Haney. Devin Haney, you've been talking shit. If you want that fight, I'm here. I'm your mandatory. I'm here. Ryan Garcia's name should not even be mentioned. He's retired for one. He ain't back till
But
December.
That's the problem, Eric. Devin and Bill don't really want JoJo. They don't want JoJo. No, they don't. They want Teofimo or the Lomachenko fight if they can get it now. That would be listen. You think that Devin Haney is going to make more money fighting JoJo Diaz over Lomachenko or Teofimo? No way. Not Bob Arum. Bill Haney is after money, fam. He can put like he's been full of cap too. I done pulled his card on this a lot of time. But you just listen to Bill. All he does is run around talking about the money they make because he can't talk about the accolades. Haney ain't doing shit. Pardon my French. He's not doing anything. Listen to Bill Haney. All he does is run around talking about who making more money than us in this game. They'll go after the money, bro. They will go after the money.
Bill spoke to JoJo and says, "Where next?" Right? JoJo said, "Yeah." JoJo said, "Yes." You're next. What do you mean? Yo, they want that fight. They want any fight.
Okay, I will say this. They'll take that fight. He might be looking for that fight, want that fight. But if Lomachenko comes up, that fight don't happen. Devin goes Loma's way. I'm promising you that, bro. If Lomachenko comes up, if Bob Arum says, okay, scrap Commey, and he gives Bill a call, JoJo's out the picture. Guaranteed JoJo's out the picture. Hey, baby, here.
Yeah, but that's a Loma fight. That ain't a Ryan fight. JoJo's talking about Ryan or Devin. If Loma came to JoJo, then I'd say, you know what? I cannot blame JoJo for taking a Loma fight over Devin. I can't do that.
I'm with you here. Eric. We here on this one. I do think that JoJo would decide Devin over Ryan because JoJo's striking me as a guy who wants to accomplish. You know what I mean? He missed the weight at 130. I get all of that. You know, Shavkat Rakhimov is getting ready to fight for the IBF title, as a matter of fact, guys. Y'all remember Shavkat Rakhimov was the guy that JoJo Diaz beat, even though he lost the title on the scales? Well, Shavkat Rakhimov is getting ready to get into a fight for that title, actually. But nevertheless, let me stick on topic. I do agree with you that he would go after the belt first. I do think so. I think he would. Because it seems like he's trying to achieve it. The weight loss was a mishap, sort of like David Benavidez. They just missed the weight. They still want to accomplish, though. You know what I mean? Champ Ross, what's up, Champ?
My thing with it was when you're talking, you've just fought for an elimination, and Ryan did the same thing. You just fought Luke Campbell for the eliminator, and instead of talking about the guy who you've just earned the right to fight, you're talking about somebody else. You're putting somebody else's name in there. Why take an elimination shot, win the shot, and not go for the title? It's irrelevant. You've just took that shot from somebody else. If you're not willing to go fight the champion.
That's true. I mean, Ronald Fagley says, speaking about our sports talk, so are you saying Bill Haney is switching the ball underneath the cup because that's how they survive 135? I had to read that. I just thought that's hilarious. Good one, Ronald. Good one. Oh, boy. JD says Top Rank will stage 2 unification bouts at 130 involving all but the WBA Super. Yeah. Black and Brown Boxing. Good morning to you, brother. All right, guys. We have 54 minutes. Got one more topic, so we must move on to the main topic. I guess we should say the meat and potatoes of this discussion. Tank Davis versus Keith Thurman. Now, guys, I'm pretty sure I always like to wait a day or two before we get some talks and see how things are going before I speak on bigger topics. Some topics I'll jump right out of the gun, especially if it's on a reputable site, such as like Boxing Scene or News Now, something like that, right? If it's a reputable site or it comes from a reputable source, I'll jump on it. But this story first broke from a source that I definitely don't trust. It first broke from Boxing 24. I don't know if you guys know about that site, but if you don't know about that site, there's no need to even go find that site because they're full of it, okay? And so the story broke from them initially. So when I see stories on Boxing 24, I just bypass them because their information is not credible at all. However, guys, I began to hear Leonard Ellerbe and Floyd Mayweather speak about it. That is enough for me. I need to tell you guys something. When Leonard Ellerbe and Floyd Mayweather start jaw-jacking off about a Tank Davis fight, you raise your eyebrow because that's when you know it's a possibility. Tank can say all he want to say. People can call out Tank all they want. You can see anything you want in any article. But if Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe don't talk about it, it ain't happening. Well, I've heard Leonard Ellerbe talking about this fight. Now, he didn't necessarily say that the fight was going to happen, but he started to speak on it. I've heard Floyd Mayweather speak on the fight. Didn't say it was going to happen, but he started to speak on it. Me personally, Flame on, what's good, Flame on. Me personally, guys, I don't believe I owe you some coffee. All right, I got you, fam. I got you. I don't believe that it will go down. But I will say this, and I talked about me and how I was a fan of Tanks when he first came out. If this little dude goes up there, fights Keith Thurman, right? I'm a fan of his again. I don't care if he loses. I mean this, guys. If this little guy goes up to 147 and fights Keith Thurman, I am a fan of Tank Davis again. And I don't care if he loses. Because to me, to me, that would show that he's actually on a different path. What do you think about that, Eric?
Well, I will say this first. Leonard Ellerbe has already come out to say Tank Davis, their aim is to make him a superstar.
Patrick!
That's the aim.
What's up, Patrick? Go ahead.
Their aim is to make him a superstar, right? Their aim isn't to make his legacy amazing. It isn't to. It's to make him a superstar. Him going from 130 winning a title, 135 winning a title, 140 winning a title, and then going up to 147, 4 weight classes in the last 4 years. It would have been 4 different weight classes in 4 years. He'd have participated in to fight Keith Thurman. It's moving. The way they're moving him is so he becomes a star, so everybody knows his name. Right. That's their whole aim, is for everybody to know Tank Davis's name. With or without a world title, Tank Davis will sell, and that's what they want to happen. Him going up to 147 and fighting a Keith Thurman, who people know once upon a time. You know what I'm saying? So people know him. So him going up to 147 and fighting a Keith Thurman, if he beats a Keith Thurman, even if he loses to a Keith Thurman, Tank Davis hasn't lost anything because he's a 135 fighter. He's a 135 fighter moving up.
And 30. Yeah. So he wouldn't lose any of his belts.
He's not losing no belts. He won't lose no credibility because he's a little guy moving up. It's the same as Mikey versus Earl. You lose no credibility whatsoever, and your star power still stays for just moving up and trying to fight at that weight. So for me, it is a possibility in this fight. It's right down their street. It's right down Leonard Ellerbe and a Floyd street for him to do that.
You know what it's like, Eric? And I know people don't want to hear this, but you know what it's like? It's like Canelo going to fight Sergey Kovalev.
Yep.
And when I say that, guys, I'm not comparing Tank Davis to Canelo. I'm not doing that. Understand
It's the move.
My ideology here on it. It's the move. Keith Thurman is a declining fighter. It is the perfect time for a guy like Tank Davis to come up there that high up and fight a declining fighter. This is what Canelo did with Sergey Kovalev. I don't want to hear all of this cherry pick nonsense like they were talking about with Canelo, because if some idiot was to call this a cherry pick with Tank, are you delusional? You know, a guy doesn't come up 2 weight classes and you call it a cherry pick. So it's similar to what we saw with Canelo and Sergey Kovalev. Tank would be catching him at the right time. Listen, that body shot, when Manny Pacquiao knocked Keith Thurman down in that fight, go back and watch it. It led from a body shot. Boom, body shot. Then he came upstairs. But it led from a body shot. That body on old man Thurman that's always getting hurt, that body is whittling down. And Tank Davis is a hell of a body puncher. We've seen this on many, many, many occasions. This guy hits hard to the body. He feels like maybe he can soften Keith Thurman up to that body some, you know. And of course, I don't think Tank beats Keith Thurman. That game, you have bumped your damn head. See, you, that game, are the type of guy that Floyd loves to see coming. Floyd loves to see guys like you coming, that game.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Dude,
Ice skate
that game
uphill.
already. Yo, that game already played his card.
That game, let me explain something to you. Real quick, Eric. Let me get on that game about this real quick. That game, let me explain something to you. Tank KO, Tank's a star. Half of that comment is correct. Tank is a star. But because he's a star, you thinking that means he KO'd Thurman? No, sir. Go ahead, Eric. No, sir. Has nothing. One thing has nothing to do with the other.
That game already played his card when he came out, when we was talking, when he was hyping the Leo Santa Cruz fight, and then he came out after. He's like, "No, I had to do that. I had to do it."
We know where you at.
Real.
I told you. Look, Eric, what I tell you back there? I said Floyd slipping him a little money under the table.
Yeah. Nah, for real though. Nah, for real. You know what? Also, Keith Thurman has even spoke about this, and he isn't opposed to this fight. He was talking about, it's a little guy coming up. Maybe he feels he can catch the old guy. So when Keith is talking, we already know when Keith don't want to fight, he ain't gonna fight, because Bud, he's like, "You're gonna fight Bud? Give me 10 mil. You want 10 mil to fight Bud? You don't want to fight." When they're talking about Tank, you're like, "Oh, maybe the little guy coming up think he can do that." You're receptive to this fight, Keith. You're receptive to this fight, so I feel this fight could happen. And it's an in.
You know why he's receptive? He is. You know why? You know why Keith is receptive to this fight, Eric? Because it's minimal risk for Keith Thurman. At least this is the way he looks at it in his mind. Minimal risk, and he knows he'll get a nice bag for it. He'll get a nice bag for it. And Keith, we know Keith wants money. We know he wants money. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's receptive to this fight for sure. Dead game again. Now that's a perfect comment. Little Tank a star. The rest of that in the other comment, you can cancel the knockout. You are crazy. Boy, what's good? He said Tank is the same size and body frame of Pacquiao. I salute him for going to 147. If it happens, he's got a chance. Yeah, for sure. And he is the same frame and body size as Pacquiao, but he is not Pacquiao. Let's keep that in mind. He's not Pacquiao. So let's keep that in mind. Mr. Two Hands Up. What's good with you, my brother? Good to see you, Mr. Two Hands in the building. All right, guys, man. We coming up toward the end of the show. Y'all remember, and now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Yeah, man. Great show. Eric, Appreciate you, brother. Tank
Yeah.
Davis, I wouldn't mind seeing it. And if this happens, I'm officially telling you guys, win, lose, or draw. If this fight happens, I am back with Tank. He's back in my good graces because this is a challenge, man. I gave Tank credit for Barrios. I said I'm not going to give him massive credit or overblow it, but I'm going to give him credit for Barrios because he's stepping up to 140. If he fights Keith Thurman, he gets full credit, fam. Even if he loses, he gets full credit from me. Who else at 135 is thinking about jumping to 147? Who? Not many of these fools at 140 thinking about going. You know, it's a big jump, guys, from 40 to 47. This is one of these big jumps in boxing, these 7-pound jumps. You have these 3 and 4 pound jumps, right? That's the smaller ascension. But then you have these gaps like 154 to 60 and 147. It's a bigger gap there, more weight involved, right? Got you, Dave. I got to give Tank all the credit he deserves on this. You know, Keith is big compared to Tank Davis. Tank Davis is 5'6", man. He's big compared to Tank. And if Tank could pull this off, if he pulls it off, this is the last thing I want to say about this. That game, this one goes out to you, brother, if you're still here. If Tank Davis pulls this off, that game, we are on the same page now. If he beats Keith Thurman, I pick Tank over Lomachenko, Teofimo, and Devin Haney. I promise you that. If that fool goes up there and beats Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman can box, guys. We got to understand something now. Keith Thurman can box. It's not like Keith Thurman's not a good boxer. And he's so massively big over Tank Davis. If that dude could go accomplish that feat, I'll put him 50-50 with my boy Teofimo. But I'll have him beating the rest, though. I still put him 50-50 with Teofimo and Lomachenko. But he would be making a statement. He would actually deserve to be called one of the best at 30, 35, and 40 if he was to go beat Keith Thurman. And I don't think it should be any argument about that, man. If that kid was to go beat Keith Thurman, come on, man. We would have to say he's one of the best at 30, 35, and 40. You agree with that, Eric?
I believe he is now anyway, but he solidifies it if he goes up there and beats Keith.
Yeah, it'd be no question.
You know what? I've not been receptive to many of Tank's moves lately, but that one, yeah, he gets. I'll tip my hat to him for that one.
Take my hat off to him, bro. He will be back in my good graces if this fight goes through. I don't care about him fighting Devin or fighting my boy Tio or Lomachenko. If he was to go up and fight Keith Thurman, he's back on my good side. Say what you want to say. He'd be back on my good side. Granted, he don't go fight somebody, Tevin Farmer, after that. You know what I'm saying? As long as he doesn't do that nonsense, then okay, he'll be in my good grade. But if he signs up for Tevin
Farmer's retired, right? Ain't Tevin retired?
Oh, Tevin, did he call it quits?
I thought he called it quits after the JoJo fight.
Warp Speed. Hold up. Let me get it right. Warp Speed. Good to see you, brother. It's been a while. He said Ivan Redcatch would be next. I wouldn't buy that. I wouldn't dump him. Look, champ, I wouldn't dump him after that because still Ivan Redcatch would be 147, right? So, but anyway, guys, and then Nod Zay, what's up? Y'all coming in at the end. We get ready to shut it down. Warp Speed, Rusty Taylor, we get ready to shut it down. But Nod said he moving to 130. That would be a good move. I wouldn't mind that. Not if he goes and beat Keith Thurman, then he comes back down to 135. Forget about 130. Yeah, I would be fine with that as long as he fights the right person. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a Haney or Till, but if he went to 135 after beating Thurman and say took on a Coleman or someone like that, no, I'm cool. I'm cool with that because that's his weight class. That's where he should really be competing at. If you ask me, 30 is probably a little too small for him. He's 27. And so 35 and 40 is ideal. So I wouldn't mind that at all. Oh, you say you talking about Farmer? Farmer's moving. Okay, yeah, I didn't think he retired.
Oh,
That makes
Farmer's
sense.
moving up. Oh, okay.
So Farmer's.
Nah, I
so
thought-
what
I
you
thought it
saying
did.
now is Farmer's going to get beat up at 35. That's what you're telling us. That dude don't got no power for 35. Farmer versus Javier Fortuna. Good fight. Let's make it happen. All right, man. Let me get out
You know
of here.
what?
Eric,
Ryan can come back and fight Farmer. There we go.
there you go. There you go, Eric. We're going to end it with that one. Ryan Garcia versus Tevin Farmer.
Yeah, yo,
That would
peace,
be
D.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys. And y'all know how I always end this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace. Did I fall?